me up by 3 games compared to his 8-9 record. We were talking about the Browns and the Bengals being the toilet bowl, and it actually ended up being a pretty decent football game. You know, 2 of the worst defenses in the league, gives you some awesome firepower on the offense, and they gave the ball to Nick Chubb, which is what we wanted them to do, and you know it took care of itself. What do you think about that game last Thursday, Josh?
Well, first off, we got more football Sunday. So, you know, cheers to that. If you're at home, crack open a beer. You know, nothing wrong with it. Little Saturday evening nightcap. But that being said, I'm done picking the Bengals. If they couldn't get it done week 1 and then now week 2 against the Cleveland Browns, I'm done. Joe Burrow, he still had over 300-something yards passing with 2 touchdowns or something like that. But I think they found their quarterback. The O-line and D-line is so suspect. They can't stop nobody or get enough momentum forward to start, really sustaining the league and keeping out in front of people. Browns look good, but, of course, they're playing the worst defense in the league. So, not too much to say about that. I mean, it was a close game by 5 points. I wish the Browns could have snuck it out, or the Bengals could have snuck it out just for my pick, but really that's it. Joe Burrow still, I think, does a good job throughout the season, but
Craig said on over 60 attempts, that's not good, and I definitely agree. If you're throwing the ball 60 times, you gotta put some more points on the board, man. And just giving him the opportunity to throw 60 times. I know they're trying to come back, but dang, Joe Mixon was ineffective. I think he just signed a 4-year deal. They think he's the guy, and he's over there getting shut down. And then Giovanni Bernard actually got the touches in the red zone, so that's kind of a wishy-washy backfield right now. They're just not getting it together. They have great skill guys, but their O-line's still questionable. Joe Burrow's still young. They're working on it. It is what it is.
Both those teams will continue to struggle, I think, throughout the year.
So going on to our first key matchup this week, guys, we're going to talk about the Falcons and the Cowboys. The Falcons played the Seahawks last week. We talked about that one. Ended up Seahawks winning, that was one we disagreed on, right? You picked the Falcons, I picked the Seattle Seahawks. And the Seattle just put it on them. Falcons went on it on 4th down 4 times and only converted 1 of them. If you're over there and you're not taking the points, right, they were in field goal range. They could have easily just took the 3 points 2 or 3 times, and you turn the ball over right there. That's a big momentum shift for that defense. Has a big opportunity for you not to come out with points and then putting Seattle in a good position on the field to just go drive on you. And that's what it did. That's what they did. There were a lot of good plays by Atlanta's defense, even though they scored 30-something points and Russell went 31 for 34. You know, they were still flying around. They were fast. They got to him a few times. And, Russell's going to make some magic happen with his legs. So that was pretty fun to watch, that game. The Cowboys this week, they played the Rams last week, questionable pass interference call. Their defense is still iffy. I think Atlanta's strengths are Dallas's weakness, so Atlanta's going to just light them up. I'm definitely taking Atlanta in this game, and that's kind of the reason why I want Atlanta to win. I don't think Dallas has the offensive firepower. I think Atlanta's a better run defense than what everybody thinks. Ezekiel is going to get shut down. Dak Prescott may, do some pretty good things. It's going to be a high-scoring game, in my opinion, but I think Atlanta's going to pull that one out.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I'm going to go with Atlanta on that one as well. Cowboys are banged up right now. They got an offensive tackle that's a starter that's going to be out, and you're also looking at your starting linebacker that's going to be out as well with a collarbone. So, and you kind of mentioned it, the receiving core for them, I think really, because the defensive backfield was questionable for me for the Cowboys anyway. I think those guys can get it done throwing the ball. I think Matt Ryan can do the job enough, and the Atlanta Falcons defense is questionable, but they played a really good Seahawks team and a really good Russell Wilson. So I'm with you on that one. I'm going to go with Falcons on that one.
All right.
With that being said, that's going to bring us to one of my picks for the week, going the Jags against the Titans. All right, it's in Nashville. I don't think Minshew looked like a absolute beast last game.
He only
But
threw the
I
ball
don't.
24 times, but yeah, I agree. He was pretty accurate.
Yeah, his percentage was pretty spot on. It was like in the 90s or something like that. But Titans are, I don't know. Titans are a little bit better ball team for me. I'm still going to rock with the Titans until they prove me wrong. I want to see Tannehill start developing into a really good quarterback, especially for them. Maybe not across the league, but definitely as a franchise quarterback for them. I think Derrick Henry. I wasn't too much impressed with him, but he still had over 100 yards rushing. So I mean, he's still going to get the job done. I like what the coach is doing over there. Titans defense does enough to slow Minshew down, and that Titans offense runs all over the Jags. So I'm picking the Titans on that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go with you on that one. I'm still iffy about the Gardner Minshew show. They got good young receivers. They're still getting it together. Tennessee's a veteran defense. They're going to go in there. They're going to be prepared. Mike Vrabel's a great head coach, and they're going to control the tempo. So I don't think Gardner. I think he'll be in a position where he has to throw the ball because that running game's still iffy with that James Robinson running back. He did pretty decent with the touches he got. But I think just Tennessee overall is a way better team, and Derrick Henry's going to actually put the ball in the end zone this week. And that O-line, it's just pretty good. Tanner's saying, put some respect on the Henry name, Cheese. But he had over 100 yards rushing last week, which is impressive.
I did. I gave him his props for what he did. I mean, he's a freak. That's why I'm going. That's why I'm going with the Titans, no doubt. Probably solely because of him and the difference of this, but. I mean, I want him to do more. I want what's expected.
They're gonna have. Go ahead.
No, okay. Go ahead.
They're gonna have to lean on Derrick Henry a lot more this week, just because AJ Brown is out this week. That's my number one receiver on that offense, and Corey Davis. He was battling an injury as well, so it's gonna be Derrick Henry show. It's gotta be. And then I think Jonnu Smith's gonna have to come in clutch. They're gonna have to move the chains. They're not gonna be as explosive, but I think they'll control the tempo, control it with defense, and then end up scoring. That's going to be a low-scoring game for me.
Yeah, and if it's got to be a Derrick Henry show, then I feel like, especially against the Jags, that it can definitely be a Derrick Henry show.
Yeah, so I think we're both agreeing on that one. The next game we're going to talk about is the Ravens and the Texans. Okay, I'm just going to start with the Texans since they played the defending national Super Bowl champions right there, National Football League champions. so they ended up getting kind of embarrassed. And then they fought back. But the Texans, they don't have nobody to throw to. Will Fuller is a deep threat. You can't throw the ball deep every single time. You got to have some other guys that come underneath the middle, right, mid to outside that could work the chains. And I just don't think that the Texans, Deshaun Watson was doing jump passes like Tim Tebow over the line. I didn't understand, kind of like he was never setting his feet. So that's going to lead to interceptions. He's still a young quarterback. He's got electrifying moves, right? He brings us so much excitement to you watching, but it's just not going to get it done, especially against the Ravens, which are probably the top. They're going to be battling with the Chiefs for that top spot in the AFC.
Yep.
That offense too much firepower. Lamar Jackson, just unreal, throwing the ball downfield. He's very accurate, and you're trying to get all your corners. If you're the Texans, who just got lit up by Kansas City's offense. You're trying to get all those corners basically covering for multiple 5, 10 plus seconds. You know what I'm saying? Because the Ravens are going to be able to get outside the pocket. You're not going to get them down as quick, and he can always turn it into a run. So that's going to be a tough game for the Texans. I think the Ravens pull that one out again. I just think they're too dominant of a football team, especially right now. They're going to get on a roll. Everybody's healthy. And then Mark Ingram's probably going to get his touches back, just see what the rookie could do last week, and they're going to take care of business. What about you?
I agree. Mark Ingram definitely gets more carries. O'Brien is in way over his head, I think, right now, to be able to put as much focus as he needs to be able to win games, which is a game-by-game league in the NFL. Lamar Jackson is insane. It's going to be hard to stop. He does a lot of things a little bit better than what Deshaun Watson does that we've seen. And dude's just a freak of nature. But, that being said, too, it's taking weapons away, from Watson. He can only do as much as he can do. So with that being said, I agree with you. I believe the Ravens pull that one out and win that one. I don't think they stomp them as much as the Chiefs did. I think they come back. I don't know. I think they come back a little bit better after playing that game. But I mean, they're hitting two teams back to back, man. That's
Coach Craig say Ravens by 20. You agree with that?
Ravens by 20?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just said it'd be a little bit closer.
15. If Lamar Jackson if they hand the ball to Ingram a lot, and I think Lamar Jackson really starts busting it wide open like we've seen and like he probably is going to. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't say anything over 20, but I'd cap it at 20.
Yeah, I don't think they win by 20. This is the NFL, and it turns into a passing league once you get down by so much. So they'll make it respectable, and then the offense tries to just run out the clock, and then they'll end up getting an extra possession that you really didn't think they'd have. That's just how it works. That's what the sports book always is basically banking on too, right? They're giving it like the Chiefs minus 8.5 odds this week to win by more than 8. And I think that's going to happen, but watch them win by like 7.
Yeah, they could bust it open, man. I'd really like to see. Because they're not playing that Cleveland Brown defense right now. Even though the Texans still is a top tier defense, I don't think, but they're definitely not shabby. And I think they're a little bit definitely better than the Browns. So it's going to be fun to see. But if they start busting it wide open and running the offense that they run and all schemes are hitting on them on all cylinders, yeah, they can start putting up points and start putting it up fast.
Yeah, Ravens are just too dynamic. They got really good young players, and they're just putting it all together, man.
Yeah.
But that's going to take us to our next matchup, the Patriots versus Seahawks. Go ahead, Josh. Or Chiefs.
Patriots versus Seahawks. I am going with the Seahawks, first off, just to say, because I tried to get a little sleeper pick last time with the Falcons over them. And Seattle's still a good football team, man. Russell Wilson is still an absolute beast. Cam Newton, I still don't trust his arm and things like that. I don't think he wins the game. Once you start shutting him down and start putting some pressure on him and make him have to sit in the pocket and try to, pick you apart and pick you piece to piece, then I definitely don't see them winning that game. I think Cam Newton does get a handful of good runs in. He gets some good sustainable curl routes, dig routes, out routes, some slant routes and things like that. I don't really see him busting it over the top passing wise against Seattle. A lot of that defense being gone for the Patriots too. I think Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, guys like that are really going to start being able to pick apart and find space because you don't man them. You definitely don't man them. So yeah, I go with the Seahawks on that one. I'd like to see Cam still do pretty good, but I don't think they have enough right now, especially against a team like that and as early as it is.
Well, Tanner just made a bold prediction. He's saying Seattle and New England will be the first tie of the season.
That is bold.
That is bold. I definitely disagree with that. But I think Seattle, just overall as a team, is a little bit ahead of New England right now. They're going to know how to handle Cam Newton. They practice against Russell every single day, and he's a way better passer than Cam is. So I think they'll be pretty much ready for that. Jamal Adams in that secondary of Seattle, that guy's a freak. He just got shipped over from the Jets. And
the Jets are stupid, dude.
Yeah, instantly just coming in and wreaking havoc in the run game, and he can guard those big tight ends. He can play pretty good on your bigger receivers. So he's a very interesting matchup, especially with the Patriots not really having any receivers. I don't know who's really going to be on Julian Edelman, but I'm sure that Jamal Adams will have his way in the middle of the field, especially with Cam Newton throwing the ball. He's going to get his receivers killed, I think, and Seahawks just play a pretty dang good game.
That's a lot better linebacker core than the Miami Dolphins linebacker core as well, too, man.
Yeah.
So I think that middle, it's not going to be as easy a free release to go across.
If Cam pokes the ball 15 more times again this week, then that dude he's on the verge of ruining his career. Especially you get taking those hits by those linemen. I know he's a big boy, but you can't take those hits so long, And
year after year after year after year. No.
I know he's trying to prove stuff that he can still play, but that just don't last long, and you want to protect your quarterback. So I think they're just using him as kind of a project, trying to get them the wins that they need, and then whatever happens after that happens. He might come out and shock us all, but I don't see it, especially if he does have to throw the ball as many times as we think he's going to have to keep up with Seattle. That going to the other side of the ball, though, Seattle's offense might struggle a little bit with that defense. Even though they lost a lot of people, they still got Stephon Gilmore, who's the number one corner in the league. He's going to lock down either DK Metcalf. I don't think he'll be on Tyler Lockett, maybe if he goes to a side. But I'm pretty sure Stephon Gilmore is one of those traveling corners. And he'll try to probably be on DK Metcalf because just size advantage and him trying to be physical. They'll probably swap him in and out, just based on game situation, third and longs, third and shorts, things like that.
Yeah.
So
I still feel like Russell Wilson has too big of a problem, though, especially if they run a lot of zone coverage against them. I mean, yeah, they can put whoever they want on DK Metcalf, but then you're just canceling one for one. Then we look down the rest of the lineup and see what they got. I feel like they got enough to get the job done, especially if you go ahead and start, taking DK out as much as he's been progressing in this offense.
Yeah, well, regardless, the Patriots have to travel to Seattle, so that's another toll on the Patriots, and I just think Seattle's going to be ready to go. Their defense is a little bit more dominant, and then their offense will probably string it together. They got to establish a running game, though. They relied a lot on Russell's arm last week.
Yeah, and if it's rainy, dude, or kind of misty or something like that, like you can get up there in Seattle, and you got to make Cam Newton one-dimensional and make him have to throw the ball. That's tough conditions to throw the ball into.
Yeah. Well, that's our take on that game. So we're going to move on to Panthers versus the Bucks. This is going to be one of my games of the week, baby. I can't wait to see what we do against the Bucks. I know last year we lost to them on a 4th and 2. Oh my gosh! You hand the ball off to Christian. Why don't you just cut it up and run somebody over instead of beat them with speed? On that, you got 2 yards to get. You're a freaking bowling ball. Just go do what your muscles are supposed to do. I'm still salty about that. And I'm so glad that Tom Brady is back there now, so we can put him into the dirt. Panthers defense, as I was looking at the film, didn't look too bad, man. Jeremy Chin was asked to do a lot. He guarded certain receivers. He came into the run game. He made big plays when we needed them. The biggest issue that I feel like we had was those rookie corners. Douglas came in for the injured Dante Jackson, and he did really well. He's got a lot of veteran experience. I think he's going to shock some people. That's his job. He's supposed to do that. He's going to be probably placed on Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's out with an injury, so that's good for our defense. And then I started making jokes about Derek Brown last week, because he wasn't there in the run game. But as I was watching it, he was demanding a double team. He just took 2 bodies, so that's a great sign that you have to double team that man. And he was putting pressure on coming straight down. When he bull rushed and he got that one-on-one, he was pushing that guy back 2 to 3 yards. So I was pretty impressed with the first-round draft pick. The safety, Trey Boston, he looks a little bit slower. Our linebacking core had a couple big penalties on him. So I think we're starting to figure it out. And Phil Snell's a good defense coordinator. He kind of knows where to put these guys in position. But I think we're ready to compete, especially versus the Bucks and Tom Brady. I have a bad taste in my mouth ever since that Super Bowl loss in 2004. Still, I hope everybody else kind of remembers that. I hope they show it in the locker room like, this is what happened with Tom Brady. I hope we put his ass in the dirt, son. That's what I'm hyped for this one. But
right to this computer.
Offensively, Teddy was a top 10 quarterback last week. McCaffrey scored 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore came in clutch. Robbie Anderson actually surprised me. I think he could be very, very dynamic. And I agree with Elgin last week that he is something to be reckoned with. He helps our offense. He's still a deep threat. He knows how to route run. He kind of takes the pressure off Curtis Samuel, so Curtis Samuel can work the underneath. He's a fast guy. We utilize him sometimes in the run too. So that offense, I think, has got a good hard task in front of them with Tampa Bay's defense. Tampa Bay, they played pretty solid last week. They had a couple plays from Tom Brady, 2 interceptions, come back to them. I think that Saints game is a lot closer than what it was. Offensively, like I said, Chris Godwin's out, so somebody's got to step up. Mike Evans. Scotty Miller, if you guys are in a PPR, I think he'll do some stuff in fantasy this week just because our secondary is so young. But I am hoping and praying that our defense gets together. I'm going Panthers this one, Josh. My homer pick. We lost game 1. We come back ready to eat, baby, and we're going to eat these Bucks.
To be honest, I on this game I didn't have my pick established yet for what I'm going to do, but This will be our first different one, and I'm going to go with the Bucks simply only because, to be 100% honest with you, I think this game could go either way, more so than any game we've talked about so far. But I don't personally think Tom Brady comes back and has another game like that or a worse game than what he has being Tom Brady. If so, I will eat my words on here gladly. Also, that Buccaneers defense is a lot more stronger than the Las Vegas Raiders defense was. I'm I mean, I think Carolina struggles a little bit with the defense, with the young corners that Carolina are having. I think it might give Tom Brady an opportunity to kind of settle down and stuff. You said it got the receivers out. So do they have a lot other people that can step up and make plays for him? Yeah. I mean, more so than any other roster right now in the league. But are they going to do it? Can they find out what they need to do? And I think Bruce, old head coach over there, he needs to start coaching some more. I feel like he also feels like, and without any preseason and things like that, I know it's hard for these really new teams that are together with these new rosters. But, he needs to coach more. I know he's got Tom Brady. Let Tom Brady definitely have reins and stuff like that. It still is a new offense for Brady and all the new guys that came over. So let him coach a little bit more, or he needs to step up and take that role to coach. I know you got a, great, 6-time Super Bowl quarterback, but be that coach because you're a good-ass coach too, and you've been a good coach for a while in the league. So with all that being said, I think Tampa wins that one out. I think it is a close game, but I just don't know. I think the defense for Tampa holds it up, and I don't think Tom Brady has the same or a worse game coming back two weeks in a row.
Yeah, and Cody made a really good point. K'Wan Short's actually out for Carolina too. That's a huge loss on our defensive front. But I do think Derrick Brown can possibly be that guy. We might, because I know Phil Snow at the end of the game was throwing in a little bit of 3-4 action with Brian Burns coming down on the line and then getting back into coverage. I want to see what he does, but with Chris Godwin being out for Tampa Bay, they probably do go 2 to 3 tight end sets like they did a little bit last week versus the Saints. They're going to try to take advantage of their size on the O-line and try to bully us, so to speak, and that's one way to beat us. We are a little bit undersized up front, like weight-wise, not height-wise or fast-wise, right? But we do possess some guys that are a little light in the trunks. So that was going to be fun to watch.
Tampa's got to feed backs after backs after backs.
Yeah.
I mean, all three of them should just touch. Let Tom Brady get something rolling, get him a little bit more confidence, and see if he can open things up on the back end with passing. So that was our first different one. But the last matchup I'll talk about is Bills versus Dolphins. There shouldn't be too much, honestly, to say about this one. I definitely have the Bills winning this one. Allen looks extremely good. Stephon Diggs looks extremely good. Dolphins, they're still hurting. They're still down that bottom tier of the NFL for me. Fitzpatrick, if he throws another 2-3 picks, that game's insanely over quick. So they got a lot of figuring out to do over there in Miami on both sides of the ball. I still don't think Tua gets any reps. I don't think he might get reps all year. I think they're going to be saving him and rehabbing him and getting him to learn the system and trying to get through this year with Fitzpatrick. But I like Josh Allen, man. That dude's a beast. And now he's got a over 1,000-yard receiving receiver in Stephon Diggs from last year, and their defense has significantly improved over the past few seasons as well. So Bills take that one out by a pretty good landslide, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's not too much to say. I think Josh Allen's got his freaking leadership cap on, and he is running things over there in the Bills organization. They got 2 young studs at running back. Their O-line's pretty good. Their defense, again, they got the second-best corner in the league in Tre'Davious White, and their linebackers are pretty good. Their D-line's awesome. Sean McDermott's the defensive head coach, so they're getting it together. I think it's going to be too much for the Dolphins. Bills have to go and win this game, especially this division game. Dolphins, they're still trying to put it together. Ryan Fitzpatrick turned the ball over too much, and I think they do. I want to say they sit Tua, but Tua might come in a little bit sooner than expected.
Yeah, how much?
I say you give it 2 or 3 more games with Fitz. If he does crappy like he's been doing, then you got to turn it over to the rookie and just let him get the experience, and then go with what you got because you're not winning ball games anyways. And that defense, man, they're still iffy. I know they brought in some vet guys, but they look a little bit slow.
They're iffy.
The one running back that I want to focus on, I know I mentioned Jordan Howard for the Dolphins offense because he runs downhill and he runs hard. They didn't really give him too many touches until they got in the red zone. So watch out for Myles Gaskin. He's actually a running back that came out of Washington 2 years ago, and he's been sitting there. And I guess that this year they're trying to give him a chance to break out. So that's a running back that I'm going to keep my eyes on, especially because he's probably on the waiver wire a lot. They said he's going to feed him touches. I know that's a trio of a backfield, but they're going to probably ride the hot guy. So
Yeah.
I think Myles Gaskin can step up. I really was impressed with what he did at Wazoo. He just never really got an opportunity. So that's a good one.
I agree with you. I feel like he does get a lot more touches too, and I feel like he also does help him a lot more than what they realize right now too. They just got to give him a chance.
Yeah. Well, that's going to bring it to the picks of the week. We already kind of made some picks of the key games, but we're always going to do this. We're always going to show that record up there, Cheetah up on top. And we'll see what's going. Yeah, I don't know, Tanner, if Tua is 100%, but we'll figure it out mid-season probably. So the first game, Josh, go ahead and list them out. Tell me who you got.
Well, we'll just go one by one. Giants and Bears. I'm going I'm going with the Giants, man. I don't want the Bears to win anyway. And Trubisky, good job against the Lions. But, New York didn't look extremely bad. I'm not going to get on that. But, yes, I'll go with Giants on that one. What about you?
I'm going to go opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chicago's an outdoor stadium, so I'm going definitely Chicago. I don't think that D-line is going to be blocked, just like the Pittsburgh D-line wasn't blocked. Yeah, so I got to go against you on this one. Chicago's going to pull it out. The defense is too good. Their offense is going to figure it out. Mitch Trubisky, he's still an iffy quarterback, but they just got too many weapons on the offensive side to go against them. So that's one I'm going to go different on you and pick the Bears over the Giants.
Nice. Rams and Eagles. I'm going Rams simply because Eagles lost to a football team with no name. Enough said.
I'm going with Rams too.
And came back on.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing over there. And the Rams, their play calling, the way they run things off of play action, yeah, Rams.
Yeah, I like what they do offensively, and that defense is going to get in the face of Carson Wentz. They gave up 8 sacks last week, so Aaron Donald coming at you, bro. That's even better than what you saw last week. So I'm going Rams.
Out of glass.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the bets of the week, man. Go money line the Rams. They're underdogs for some reason.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so you going Rams on that one?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Falcons, Cowboys. We both said Falcons.
Yep.
Panthers, Bucks. You said Panthers. I said Bucks.
That's right. That's my hometown.
Here's a really hard one right here. 49ers and the Jets.
49ers bounce back this week. Jets are terrible.
49ers bounce back, and it's a great opponent, a great team to go against for a bounce back.
Watch the Jets play the best football they've ever played in their lives.
This might be a pretty good game right here. Broncos and Steelers. I'm still riding Big Ben, man. He looked good. I think he's ready to go. You still take Von Miller out of Denver, man. That dude's a game changer in multiple ways. So yeah, I go Steelers on that one.
Yeah, Steelers just look so dominant. I'm picking the Steelers, but I do want to see a good game. Big Ben, that's his offense. They look so much different with him in there. Just how he leads. That defense looks so crazy, dude. Like how they were blitzing the linebackers versus New York. I don't know if you come into week one.
Man, he's smart.
That prepared. They were so prepared for week one, and the Giants had no answer. So, yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh. That's going to be a
Lions. And the Cheeseheads over there, that way, wherever it is. There it is. You know what it is. I ain't even going to say. I'm just going to do this right here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's my pick. Packers over the Lions.
I think the Packers, man, they start out hot. They're going to keep that fire going. Aaron Rodgers, he's pissed off this year, so Lions don't really have a chance. I'm definitely putting that one in for the sports bets.
Okay. Bills and Dolphins. We both said Bills. Vikings and the Colts. Sorry, Phillip River. Cry me a river. Vikings. Still. Yeah. Vikings are not a shabby team, man. And I'm glad that, their offense, yeah, good luck with Cook. And their defense is still an extremely good defense. Vikings still make the playoffs this year, I think. Vikings over that one for sure.
Yeah, I think they got a little bit exposed by Green Bay. Green Bay's just, again, a little bit more prepared, right? Going down the field, chunking it up. Minnesota's defense is going to tighten up for sure. I'm also going to take Minnesota on that one. The Colts, they still got to prove it to me. They're in one of the worst divisions in the AFC South. So, and they got that rookie running back starting. I think Minnesota's they're going to let him get some yards, maybe a touchdown. But I think they'll just come out. Kirk Cousins is probably fired up to come in this week.
Yeah, I don't even care. They hand the ball off to Cook, man. Cook's going to eat.
Yeah.
Eat. Okay, Washington. The Washington team against the Cardinals. I'm going with the Cards, man. They got me right last week. They're going to get me right again. That offense is crazy, and the defense really surprised me. I thought they were pretty solid, and they're not really going against a really high-powered offense this week in my mind. So, yeah, I'm going with the Cards on that one.
Yeah, Cardinals surprised me last week beating the 49ers. That offense is so dynamic, dude. They got so much speed over there. And that defense actually stepped up. Go ahead.
You know, like how do you stop it? You put pressure on Kyle Murray, and he could just take it off for 35 yards.
Yeah, so the Cardinals, who'd you say that was playing again?
Cardinals and the Washingtons.
Oh, yeah, those guys. I think Washington last week was a fluke, dude. They were down 17-0 and they came back and scored 27. Philadelphia just let something get in the way. I don't know what it was. It could have been terrible coaching. People just Philadelphia's always that team, though, that's going to be like, oh, yeah, we're up by 20-something points. Yeah, we're just going to slow down. And then all of a sudden, the NFL comes back. No matter what. Yeah. I think that was a fluke, so I'm definitely taking Arizona on that one as well.
All right, we talked about Ravens and Texans. We both said Ravens. Chiefs and the Chargers, until they get beat, I'm going with Chiefs. And definitely Tyrod Taylor throwing that ball. Honey Badger's about to eat him a whole freaking bucket of honey. Like, Chiefs win that one, no problem.
Yeah, I agree. Just Chargers suck. They're probably bottom of the league, bottom 3 of the league. So, yeah, Chiefs all the way, dude. I ain't have to say nothing about that.
And should have beat them, the Bengals. So, yeah, I'm definitely taking the Chiefs. You know, Patriots and Seahawks, we both said Seahawks on that one. That's just one more game for Monday that we'll talk about later. But that is the Sunday game schedule.
All right, dude. Well,
the picks are in.
The picks are in. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Cheetah and the Cheese. You know, our key matchups for week 2. We want to make it fun with you guys. I'll probably make another Google form, so next time you can interact with us. We appreciate you guys in the chat. But that's about it for this week 2, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Cheetah and the Cheese. Out. I always wanted to do that. Tune into the games, man. We'll see y'all next time.